自己紹介してください。
Hi, I'm Mary. 私は日本とナイジェリアのハーフです。日本生まれ、日本育ちです。
You know, as a half Japanese growing up here, I always thought like I'm not fitted in.
We speak Hindi, English, and Japanese. A little bit Japanese.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Takashi. Today I'm going to interview half Japanese people. What it's like to live in Japan as half Japanese. Okay, let's get started. Thank you for your time. Could you introduce your background?
Okay, so I'm half French and half Japanese. I grew up most of my life in France, but I lived here when I was in middle school for 4 years, but I was going to the French school. I'm currently doing a 1-year exchange study in Japan, and this is my first real experience of going to a Japanese school.
Is there any personality you think you're more very Japanese and at the same time very French?
I feel a lot more French than I do feel Japanese. If anything, moving to Japan has made me realize just how foreign some elements of the Japanese culture are to me. Yeah, I feel more French, to be honest.
Could you say something in Japanese and French?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Lily, mais mon prénom japonais c'est Saori. Du coup, depuis que je suis au Japon, tout le monde m'appelle Saori. Et je suis française et japonaise et j'adore le Japon, c'est grave fun ici. はじめまして、私の名前はサオリです。日本の名前はサオリです。フランス人と日本人です。よろしくお願いします。
東京はどうですか？
東京ね、めっちゃ楽しいよ。普通に。
My name is Isaac. My mom is Japanese. My dad is Cameroonian. And I was born and raised in Sapporo, Japan.
What was it like growing up in Japan as half Japanese?
It was an interesting experience for sure. Sapporo especially, like, we don't really see foreigners, right? A lot of, like, there's literally, like, 5 black people. Like, and then my dad knows every black people in Sapporo. So I was definitely a minority. When I was in elementary school, I was bullied and stuff. However, once you hit, like, middle school and high school, it might be because of my personality and stuff too, but I started to become like more like a popular kind of cool thing because like you're mixed half, you're so cool. Then people started to kind of like act as if they're like my friends when I don't really know them or like I don't really hang out with them, stuff like that. So I can't call it like positive racism, but people like want to like, you know, be cool being around me. So that was interesting.
Okay, so could you introduce yourself in Japanese, which is your native language?
Okay. どうも、はじめまして。アイザックって言います。お母さんが日本人でお父さんがカメルーンっていうアフリカの国出身で生まれと育ちは札幌、北海道の札幌、日本で育ちました。
So my mom is Russian, my dad is Japanese. Most of my life I grew up out here in Tokyo and I spent a couple years in America and maybe like 1 in Russia.
What about Japanese side of your personality?
What is the Japanese side of my personality? I'll like ask questions and I'll say thank you like overly like a lot, and I feel like I'll be a little bit more respectful to the people. You know, there's a way that Japanese people go about being like nice that's different from the Americans, and I feel like I'll sometimes take the Japanese approach, maybe throw in a bow in there, you know.
What about your Russian side in your personality?
The Russian side of my personality, well, I feel like this is a really good thing, but I view them my people as a little bit of a wild people. They're a little bit like outgoing, they're crazy, you know, I'm sorry, but that's really in the best way possible, and I feel like you have to speak up and like make your presence known, and I feel like that really is what they do.
Could you say something in Japanese and Russians?
Привет, меня зовут Элина, я живу в Токио, и мне сейчас 24 года. はじめまして、私の名前は遠山エリナで、東京の生まれと育ちで、たまにアメリカも行って帰ったりしてますが、東京は一番です。
Hey, this is rapper Big Deal. I am half Indian, half Japanese, and I grew up in India. Okay. Yeah, I'm back in Japan after 7 years. Very excited to be here. My mom is Japanese, so I have a lot of uncles here. I'm visiting, I'm meeting them, and it's fun.
So inside you, any personality you think is very Indian, very Japanese?
Whoa, okay. Since I grew up in India, I think I'm more Indian, definitely. The few things Japanese about me definitely is like I like peace and quiet. I don't like speaking loud, you know. I'm softer when I talk, and yeah, I'm softer when I talk and everything. I love Japanese food. I think that's my number one most favorite.
More than Indian food?
Yeah. I have to say that, yeah. Indian, I mean, the rest of it is all Indian, I guess. Yeah.
I see. So you speak English, Japanese, Hindi?
Yes, I do. And also I speak Odia. That is the place I'm from. Like you have prefectures here. You have prefectures in India as well. So I'm from Odisha, and that's the regional language of Odia. So yeah, I have 4 languages.
Could you introduce yourself in Japanese, Oriya, and Hindi?
今、東京にいるけど、ムンバイに住んでます。僕の名前は Rapper Big Deal です。Hindi आधा Japanese और आधा Indian हूँ. What's up, Jai Hind? And Odia, Jai Jagannath Samastungu Puri Toka check-in and कौन हालचाल?
Hi, I'm Mariko. I'm half Japanese, half Dutch. And my mom is Japanese and my dad's Dutch. I'm born and raised in Amsterdam, and right now I'm in Japan for around a month, working and visiting friends.
You speak English and Japanese and Dutch.
Yes. So I grew up speaking Dutch and Japanese, so those are like my mother tongue languages. And then I went to a British school and international school. Then I started learning English, and then I think I feel most myself in English. I feel like I can express myself, like my personality, and I think most of my friends right now are English, so I feel most confident in English. Well, my friends say this too sometimes. I feel like kind of another side of me comes out when I speak certain languages. So the Dutch is like, people are very direct. So I feel like when I'm speaking Dutch, maybe I'm a bit more like assertive, a bit more direct. When I speak English, yeah, as I said, I feel like most like myself. And maybe when I speak Japanese, I'm a bit more like toned down, yeah, more composed and more polite, I would say.
You want to say something in Dutch and Japanese?
Yes, so I'll start with Dutch. Hoi, mijn naam is Mariko. Ik ben 20 jaar. Ik ben nu hier lekker in Japan, lekker aan het eten en ook een beetje aan het werk. こんにちは。私の名前は天野真理子です。今は日本で運転免許のを取って勉強してて、ちょっとお仕事もしてます。
Hi, my name is Noah. My mum is Japanese. My dad is Moroccan, but I was born and raised in England.
And you just visited Japan?
Yeah, I come here a lot on holiday. I come here time to time to see my family and friends. This year, I decided to travel by myself. So yeah, I love Japan. The cultures are so different, and I'm lucky enough, fortunate enough to see both sides of cultures because they're complete opposites. For Morocco, I like to say that everyone's more confident. Everyone's way more open. You could talk to someone that you don't know and have a great time. And I feel like Japan is the opposite, where everyone's really shy. I think Japan, they have a sense of respect, and I think their upbringing is very nice, and they know their morals.
So you got both?
Yeah, I like to take a bit of both and make it into me and try and make the best person I can be.
You speak English, you're from England,
Yeah.
you speak Japanese, and you speak Arabic.
So I speak mostly English and Japanese. My Arabic is not great at all. Like the basic like greetings. My dad didn't teach me Arabic when I was young. That would have been so much easier.
Your mom doesn't speak Arabic and your dad doesn't speak Japanese, right?
No, yeah, exactly. My dad does not speak any Japanese, and my mom does not speak Arabic. They're complete opposite languages. Arabic and Japanese are like one of the hardest languages to learn. So yeah, we communicate by English.
Can you introduce yourself in the language you speak,
Yeah.
Japanese and Arabic?
こんにちは。私の名前はノアです。お母さんは日本人で、お父さんはモロッコ人で、英語の方一番前けど、日本語ちょっとパラパラだね。Assalamu alaikum. Kiflak leves. Alhamdulillah.
Hi, my name is Ayana,
My name is Daniel.
and we are from a Japanese mom and a Puerto Rican father, and we have been raised in the States. And right now, we're back in Japan visiting for about 2 weeks.
What was it like growing up in the States as half Japanese?
I would say it was kind of challenging at times. We were born in the South, so I wasn't around a lot of Asian students. So I would say sometimes it felt a little difficult to fit in.
It was cool because, you know, we were able to be the only Japanese kids in the school, but it was also kind of hard because of that.
Like, I identify a lot more with my Japanese side, even though I don't really look like them. But I do feel like I fit in with that culture more, I would say. I'm not really close to my Puerto Rican side, but I mean, I definitely feel comfortable with it as well. But I think I resonate more with my Japanese.
By nature, I tend to have more, I guess, Japanese mannerisms and personality traits. With the Japanese culture, everyone here is so polite and so nice. If you do that in the United States, sometimes people kind of see that as weakness. So it's kind of hard to do that all the time in the United States. But I think I was definitely heavily influenced by my mom. So I think by nature, I'm a little bit more Japanese in my personality traits.
Is there any possibility that you might move to Japan?
I would like to live here at some point. I really enjoy the culture here, so I think definitely in the future I'd be very interested. I would need to work on my Japanese first, but for sure I would definitely like to come back.
Yeah, I would love to do that. It's awesome here. It's great here. Everything's so accessible and it's so much safer than where we are. I have to study more Japanese as well, so I would have to do that before.
So hello, my name is Erika. I'm half Italian, half Japanese. I was born in Japan, but I grew up in Italy, in Florence, and it's been almost 7 years I've been living in Japan.
What part of your personality you think you're very Italian and also very Japanese?
So I guess like the part where I'm like more relaxed, it's more Italian, part of the Italian culture. So, you know, like doing things more slowly, like, you know, just like not being in a rush. I like to take, you know, time to do things. But also I guess the trait where I'm a bit shy. I'm not that open as Italian people. So I guess that part it's more Japanese.
Could you introduce yourself in Italian and in Japanese?
Ciao ragazzi, mi chiamo Erika, sono italiana e giapponese, sono cresciuta a Firenze e ora è da 6 anni che vivo in Giappone. Konnichiwa, watashi no namae wa Erika desu. もう日本に生まれたけど、ずっとイタリアに育って、で今6年ぐらいにずっと日本に住んでて、で今ここで働いています。
Before we continue interviews, this video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakurako. Sakurako is a subscription service where you receive a monthly Japanese artisan snack box filled with traditional and artisan Japanese snacks. Sakurako helps in partnering with local Japanese snack makers to continue to share Japanese culture and traditions that have been passed down for over 100 years. This month's theme is Colors of Kyoto. Enjoy the simple pleasure of sipping tea and allow each delicacy to evolve the spirit of Kyoto's rich heritage. And Sakurako also has Japanese table every month. This month I got this floral kamon yunomi. This is yuzu dorayaki with yuzu from Ehime Prefecture. This dorayaki is on another level. This is sweet potato pie with a perfect balance of sweetness. It's a delightful and a wholesome treat. And Tokyo Treat is packed with latest season sweets. In contrast to Sakurako, which represents traditional Japanese culture, you can feel a modern life in Japan with Tokyo Treat. This month's theme is Snack-tastic Halloween. Halloween is a big event in Japan. Experience Japanese Halloween with these amazing snacks. This is spooky spicy crackers. These crunchy crackers have kick-off spicy peppercorn, a super popular flavor in Japan. This is Painomi mini pie Japanese pudding. Actually, this is my go-to snack, but I haven't tried pudding flavor and it's really nice. And each snack is explained so that you can see what's produced. And you can also check allergen information. This will give you more places to go when you come to Japan. So if you like to experience having a good quality Japanese snack right in your home, click the link in the description below. Okay, let's get back to interviews. Okay, thank you for your time. Could you introduce your background?
So I'm half Irish, half Japanese. I was born in Japan and I moved to Ireland when I was 9. I came back to Japan for college and I'm still here now.
Okay, so Japan, Ireland, what are the similarities?
There's actually a few similarities because the fact that they're both island countries. Ireland and Japan, they seem like there's a lot of people who like wants to be polite. There's a lot of people pleasers, even though it's a negative thing in Ireland. But there's a lot of us who likes to please people. It just comes natural to us. Japanese people, it's like they have to be polite in a way. So in that way, it's a little bit different. But there's a lot of people pleasers in both countries, I think. Yeah. So it's very different to Americans, obviously, because they're very direct. Irish people are not. They take a step back and just kind of just be very polite, really. Yeah.
Same as Japan.
Same as Japan, yeah.
Can you say something in Japanese?
あ、こんにちは、ミランです。
ずっと日本に住みますか？どうですか？
でももうそろそろ引っ越ししたいなっていうふうに。でもなんかシンガポールとかオーストラリアとか、アイルランドには引っ越しはしないかなと思うんですけど、もう10年間住んでましたし、それこそ日本ももう長年住んでるので、新しいところっていうのがやっぱすごく大事なのかなっていうふうに思います。
Hey yo, my name is Kimio. My mom is Japanese. My dad, he's half Persian and Italian. I was born and raised in Tokyo, but I'm currently living in New York right now.
Okay, so what was it like growing up in Japan as half Japanese?
It was cute. It was cute. I really loved it. But first of all, my parents, they both passed away when I was 2. So my mother's side, grandparents, they raised me and my brother. Actually did not tell me the fact that I'm half Persian, Italian, and Japanese until I graduated from high school. So I was told my whole life that I'm like full Japanese. But I always knew like something was really off because obviously like I don't look like, I don't know, like Japanese, I guess. Always people come up to me, be like, oh my God, why you speak Japanese so good? Like, why your hair is curly? Like, why you're asking all the questions? So I was like, and then I go home and I tell my grandmother, be like, oh wait, am I like not full Japanese? But she was like dead ass straight. She was like, you're Japanese. Just you're Japanese. And I was like, And then we got into a huge argument. And then, you know, my grandparents are like, oh, you're old enough to understand like what really happened. And then, like they told me the fact that I'm half Japanese. You know, as a half Japanese growing up here, I always thought like I'm not fitted in. Like if you don't look Japanese, I don't think like people here consider you as a like Japanese. I always wanted to move to the country where like there are so many races and diversity, and that's why when I turned 20, I spent all my savings and then moved to LA.
Okay, could you introduce yourself in Japanese?
はい。皆さんこんにちは、ケミオです。はい、今はですね、ニューヨークに住んでるんですけど、日本に今お仕事で帰ってきていて、今日はインタビューをしていただきました。はい。
Hi, I'm Mary. 私は日本とナイジェリアのハーフです。日本生まれ日本育ちです。
ナイジェリアに行ったことはありますか？
いや、ないです。お父さんが結構ずっとナイジェリア危ないからあんま気をつけてみたいな感じだったんで、自分的にあんまいいイメージがなかった。お父さんもずっと日本に住んでるので、お父さんと日本語で喋ってるので、英語があんまり上手じゃないので。
日本の生活はどうですか実際
？178で日本だと結構高い方なので、すごい見られるのが結構気になっちゃいます。
あとはじゃあ例えばデーティングとかは？
デートは日本の人がやっぱり自分も日本語の方が得意なので落ち着くし、今までの人もずっと日本の人だったんですけど、日本の男性も私が欧米の人とかアフリカの人みたいな人がタイプなんじゃないかなってよく勘違いされるので、アメリカとかアフリカの人からすごいアプローチが多いのでマッチングしません。
I am half Japanese and half Trini, so from Trinidad and Tobago. And I was born and raised in Canada, and September of last year, I moved over to Japan.
How's your life in Japan so far?
Honestly, I love it. Like the quality of life that you could get and the safety that you have is definitely something that I really appreciate.
How do Japanese people see you? Like, how's your experience so far?
So whenever I'm walking around, especially while I was in Fukuoka, a lot of people would come up to me and they would ask me if I was a rapper. But when people do first look at me, they see my hair and how I have braids, and they look at my face and they notice I have more Asian features, like my eyes. So they know that I'm an Asian mix of some sort. So some people find offense when people ask to touch their hair, but I see that as them being curious and wanting to get to know me more. And I take that as an opportunity to really connect with them because that's something that they're not used to. Yeah, I think it's a really positive thing.
Maybe you want to say something in Japanese?
はい、はじめまして、渡辺みなみと申します。今現在東京にいるんだけど、住んでるのは鹿児島の大崎町。地域協力隊として PR しています。
We're half Japanese and half Indian, and I was born in Japan and grew up in India.
I was born in India and I'm here for university.
I'm here working and traveling.
Okay. So what was it like growing up in India as half Japanese?
In India, it was pretty nice. I didn't really get discriminated. I was considered Indian, and people accepted me.
Yeah, I think for me, I kind of look more Japanese compared to her. So in India, I was like treated a bit more as a foreigner. But over here, a lot of people think I'm Japanese automatically, unless I talk in English. So.
What about the languages? How many languages do you guys speak?
We speak Hindi, English, and Japanese. A little bit Japanese, basic.
Sometimes we talk in Hindi and Japanese with our parents when it's mixed, but mostly English, yeah.
Okay. Maybe you want to say something in Japanese and Hindi?
日本に今4ヶ月ぐらいいて、妹は大学生にいるの。
Namaste, मेरा नाम प्रीता है और मैं इंडिया से हूँ.
I'm half Danish, half Japanese. I was born in London and grew up in New York, Philippines, and Denmark. And now I'm based in Copenhagen, Denmark. I'm in Japan right now because of work. I make music.
What's it like living half Japanese in Denmark?
A lot of half people would say the same, but when I was younger, it was hard for me to figure out where I fit in. Yeah, I would feel at home in Denmark and at home in Japan. But I mean, I don't look full Danish or full Japanese, so it was kind of confusing for me when I was younger, but I think now I just embrace it. And I've never wanted to change where I'm from, so.
When you say half Danish to Japanese people, what's their reaction?
Oh, I feel like Denmark has a good reputation. There's a lot of like Danish bakeries in Japan, and people like Danish furniture, so I feel like it's a good, people are excited about it, yeah.
Can you say something in Japanese and Danish?
Yes. こんにちは、Mino Okabe です。デンマークと日本のハーフ。私デンマークに住んでるんですけど、今日本にいて本当に楽しんでいます。Jeg har lige udgivet en sang, der hedder Maybe One Day, og jeg er i Japan lige nu for at promovere den, og også snakke om en japansk version af min sang Every Second, som jeg har lavet, og synes det er virkelig sjovt at være her.
Yes, I'm half Japanese, half American,
And actually, my father is of Jewish descent, so Jewish American and half Japanese. When I was growing up, it was actually heavily Latino. My high school was 60% Latino. So there's a lot of Spanish speakers. And when I was younger, I wish that I was learning Spanish because there was much more application for Spanish. Like when I was younger learning Japanese, it didn't make sense. I was confused for a long time why I was learning Japanese, but now that I'm living here, it's paying off and I'm able to use both my languages, so it's really cool.
What made you decide to come to Japan and to live here?
I was pretty good at speaking Japanese in middle school because of Japanese school. And then high school, I stopped going, so I started losing the Japanese. And I thought it was important for me to keep practicing my Japanese. And the only way for me to do that was to move to Japan. So I decided after I graduated college, before I started my career, I just decided to move to Japan, mainly to practice my Japanese and spend more time with my Japanese family.
What's it like living in Japan so far as half Japanese and being treated as a foreigner?
Yeah, I think it'll be different if I grew up in Japan because this will be my home country. And I want people to accept me in my home country, but I was born in America. And even now, I'm so American that I don't really mind it, but sometimes it's kind of sad. I wish that people would accept me more being half Japanese, you know? Like people, sometimes they don't sit next to me in the train. Or
it happens?
Yeah, they don't sit next to me in the train, or they talk really slow to me, or they say I'm really good at using chopsticks. But now I just kind of use it to my benefit. It's called like gaijin card.
Yeah.
I can break the rules a little bit and get away with it.
Can you introduce yourself in Japanese?
マサトと申します。日本とアメリカのハーフで23歳です。よろしくお願いします。お母さんが関西人なので、日本語を学んだ時は関西弁で学んで、ばあちゃんが大阪に住んでんだけど、電話する時だけ関西弁で出てきちゃうんだけど、なんか言いづらいですね、東京にいると。確かに。関西にいないと関西弁は出てこない。
Hello, I'm Sena.
And I'm Mina.
Our mother is Japanese and our father is Turkish, and we are born and raised in Turkey.
And I recently moved back to Japan.
And I'm still living in Canada.
Okay. Which language do you guys speak each other?
It's a mix of Japanese and Turkish.
I mean, based on the situation, of course. Like, for example, if we have fights, we speak in Turkish.
Exactly.
Usually Japanese?
Usually, I think I would say Turkish.
Yes, because it's easier for us. Because Japanese is not a language that we always spoke with each other.
It's really dependent on the surrounding. If people understand that language, we try to speak the other language. Yeah.
Can you say something in Turkish and Japanese?
Tabii ne söylesek bilmiyorum. Merhaba arkadaşlar. İzlediğiniz için teşekkürler.
見えてハーフやねんけど、本当はバリバリ関西弁できます。
私の日本語そんなに上手じゃないけど、みなちゃんの方が上手なんで、6ヶ月日本に住んだから。まあでも、なんか3年生の日本語ぐらいは大丈夫ですね。
Okay, so I'm Anri. So my mom is Filipina, my dad is Japanese, and I was born and raised in the Philippines, and now I live in Tokyo.
So what was it like growing up in the Philippines as half Japanese?
Okay, so I don't think there's much difference because like I am like half Japanese, I am half Filipino, but then like I am like totally, Filipino by heart.
Oh,
Yes.
you think so?
Yes.
So you don't think there's any Japanese part inside you? You don't think so?
I don't think so. I'm 100% Filipino.
Your dad didn't influence you in that sense that much?
No, because like my mom and dad got divorced when I was like a kid. So I was born and raised there, so
And then with your mom?
with my mom, yes.
That's what I think.
Uh-huh.
Could you introduce yourself in Tagalog and Japanese?
アリと申します。フィリピンから来ました。今、東京に住んでます。よろしくお願いします。Mabuhay! Ako si Anri. I'm half Filipino, I'm half Japanese. Pinanganak ako sa Manila, but ngayon dito nakatira sa Tokyo.
Okay, thank you for watching so far. How was it? That was interesting. Actually, lots of interviewees in this video are my friends in real life. Luckily, I got connected with lots of interesting people in Tokyo. If you're one of them and have an interview, either you're Japanese or from abroad, you can hit me up on Instagram or email me as well. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, click like button. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any question you want me to ask people in Japan, please leave the comment too. See you next time.